December 29th, National Pepper Pot Day. This one I had to look up because I had no idea what the heck pepper pot was. And it's actually a stew, or a soupish stew, or a stewish soup, or something like that. Actually, it dates back to like colonial times when they were all at Valley Forge and George Washington wanted something to boost the morale of his troops, and he went to the chef and he said, hey, make them something really blah blah blah, you know? So he came up with the soup. Now, traditionally the soup is made with tripe, and I'm not doing that because I have no desire to eat the stomach lining or whatever it is of an animal. I don't need to do that. You can do that if you like. If you like tripe, it's a honeycomb tripe that you use for this or whatever, but I'm not doing it. I'm substituting beef today. Stew meat. Okay, it's beef round, cut up into cubes, stew meat. I have my Dutch oven going here with a little bit of olive oil. I'm getting this nice and hot here. What I'm going to do is just brown this meat a little bit first and then take it out of there, okay? So let's see if this is ready to go. Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to brown this a little bit, and then we'll take it out and we'll move on to the next step, okay? We're just jumping right in here today and get this going, because this is one of those soups, because of the chunky meat and everything else, you gotta let it sit for a couple hours and simmer, because that's really gonna break down the meat and make it nice and tender and everything else. Plus there's a bunch of vegetables and stuff in here, so we'll fill you in as we go along, but do this part and come on back. Browned our meat, and I'm going to take that out and put that off to the side. I drained whatever fat or whatever was in there out of there, because now our next step, we're going to cook 5 slices of bacon. Okay? I just cut them into like thin strips, lardons, maybe they would call it. I don't know. So I'm just going to fry up this bacon in our skillet here, our Dutch oven. And just until it's, you know, cooked and clear, that you see that the fat has been rendered, okay? Once you see that your bacon has kind of crisped up a little bit, you're not looking for crispy bacon here because this is all going to stew and it's going to get soft anyway. Just want to make sure that the fat is rendered down. We're going to start adding all our veggies, okay? So I have one huge, nice big leek, okay, chopped up. I have a half a cup of diced onion, okay, a half a cup of diced celery, a nice big chunky handful of fresh parsley, chopped up, and then I'm guessing the star of our show today, 2 really nice big green peppers diced up, okay? That must be the pepper in the pepper pot. They must have had a lot of peppers at the Valley Forge that year to be able to call this pepper pot. So I'm guessing that's what it is. So you're just going to cook all of these until they're nice and tender, okay? This, by the way, was nicknamed, as I throw it all over the place, the soup that won the war. So I guess the morale really did go up when they fed this to the troops, and that's what happened. I don't know. You read these little bits when you're doing your research, you know. Okay, so we're just going to cook this until this is all nice and tendered, and we'll be back. Okay, once you have your vegetables all nice and tender here, you're going to add 2 quarts of beef stock, okay? Right to that. And we're going to bring that to a boil, okay? You're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. I know that one's weird, huh? A 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, some bay leaves, and a 1/2 teaspoon of fresh black pepper. Okay? And you're just going to mix that in. And you're going to put your meat back in the pot. Okay? What you're going to do now is put this on a simmer and let this simmer for about 2 hours, okay? And then we'll come back and we'll add those last couple ingredients, alrighty? It's a slow and go one today. What are you gonna do? But the meat will be nice and tender. This one smells great already, so I know it's gonna be good, okay? Cover, 2 hours, see you then. Alrighty, after about 2 hours of this simmering, and it just smells amazing. I mean, if you really want to impress your guests, I mean, the smell when they walk in the house, they're gonna be like, oh my God, what are you making? To this, you're gonna add 2 chopped carrots, okay? Just drain these off. Make sure when you're leaving your potatoes, I have try to find one really big potato and cut it up into cubes. Make sure you soak it in water so it doesn't oxidize while you're waiting to add it. Okay? You're just going to mix those in, and you're going to cook this for about another half hour or so until your veggies are nice and tender. Okay? So what we're going to do now is thicken it up. Okay? We're going to add about a half a stick of butter, 4 tablespoons, and I have about 3 tablespoons of flour. Okay, so we're going to make a roux and whisk that and get it really nice and smooth. We'll stir it into our soup, which will turn it into a stew. That's how I'm looking at it, because it's going to thicken that sauce up. But it looks really good so far. Okay, and then we'll be ready to try it. Alrighty? So you know how to do this part, right? I don't have to show you how to do this. You melt your butter, you put your flour in, you whisk, whisk, whisk till it's all smooth. Let it cook for a minute or 2 so it kind of gets rid of that flour taste, okay? But make sure it's smooth so you don't get clumps of flour in your soup, okay? And then you're just going to add this into there, let it simmer for a little bit, thicken up, and that's it. Be back. So, add our roux. Thickened up nicely. I'm going to take that off the heat now because that's pretty much done. It didn't thicken it into, let's say, a gravy, you know, like a thick gravy, but it definitely thickened up our soup. But look at this. I mean, you get some beautiful chunks of meat and vegetables. Just want to give this one a taste today. This is the kind of thing I'm going to have to run to the store and get a big loaf of some kind of French bread or something, or Italian bread, and dunk into that. I mean, look at that steaming hot soup. I don't even know how I'm going to do my tasting. But look, you get big chunks of meat. I probably could have cut those into smaller pieces, but that's okay. I'm just going to break a little piece off. I could smell the ground cloves in this, which I thought was a little weird to put in a soup, but I mean, it smells great. The soup itself smells great. You got the leeks and the parsley and everything else, the onions, carrots, potatoes. So it's a really nice soup / stew. I mean, I don't know, if it was thicker, I'd call it a stew, but it's got the makings of one. I'm just blabbering as I wait for this to cool off so I don't burn my mouth. Wow, really good though. It's got a really unique flavor between the leeks and, like I said, in that ground cloves. You get a hint of that, which kind of gives it this, I don't know, this different kind of flavor. Not bad different, like good different. Alrighty, I'm gonna have to sit down. Like I said, you know what, maybe I'll let this cool off and run to the store for some bread. Alrighty, we'll see you tomorrow. Pepper pot day. I don't know if it's soup, I don't know if it's stew, but it is what it is. We'll see you tomorrow.